impact be part of that investment? Thank you.
Thank you very much. Our next presenter is Marc Iralndez, who directs the Technology and Life Labs. And one of the things I love about that title is it can be parsed different ways, and any way you parse it, it's great. Anyway, Marc, thanks for being here, and we welcome your thoughts.
Thank you. Clayton said, I'm the Director of Technology and Life Labs at UCP. Just to give you a background of Life Labs, it started off as a R&D practice for UCP, but we quickly learned that the expertise needed to move forward assistive technologies, accessibility, wasn't going to happen internally. So we found that having partnerships with different groups out there that were doing work towards our vision, if we could help them and support them, then we would get closer to our vision. So I like to look at it as a grassroots effort over an R&D practice. So I know today we've been talking about the world of cloud computing and making it more accessible, but I'm going to focus on something related but slightly different about cloud computing projects out there that's making the world more accessible, and some of the work being done by our partners and by Life Lab. One interesting group that we work with is the HCIL at University of Maryland. That's the Human Computer Interaction Lab. A couple of the professors there we have a really good relationship with, and we visit each other a lot and share the work that we're doing. But one thing struck me the last time we talked, and one of the students, a group of students, had created a cloud-based application that would crowdsource the pinpointing of inaccessible areas in a city. And it was built upon Amazon Mechanical Turk, Google Street View. For those who don't know what Mechanical Turk is, it's really a crowdsourcing platform that parses out micro tasks to the crowd. And basically they're tasks that a computer wouldn't be able to solve by itself, or would take too long to solve. And well, one of these tasks is pinpointing where inaccessibility is. We can't really come up with an algorithm right now to look at a map and show everyone where there isn't a ramp. Maybe a computer could identify where there is a ramp, but not where there should be a ramp. So on this platform, they actually embedded a Google Street View. For those who know about Google Street View, it's just the way that you can, through Google Maps, see the actual location through photography taken by the Google Mobile, to give you a real-world view of location. And so basically, they put images in front of people on the Mechanical Turk platform, and they would draw polygons around where they would see broken ramps or blocks that didn't have any ramps at all, to highlight them with polygons. And they found that, after test after test after test with the crowd, they got up to a 90% success rate, meaning that 90% of the polygons drawn actually identified inaccessible areas. And they did this with the Street View of Washington, D.C. And if you've ever been in Washington, D.C., and you're driving around in your car, a very common occurrence, you'll see someone in their wheelchair or maybe in a walker in the middle of the street. And a motorist driving by and yelling at them, saying, hey, what are you doing? Are you crazy? And if you're a pedestrian in D.C., you know that these people aren't crazy at all. The sidewalks aren't fit for any type of motorized device or wheelchair. So finding these areas, finding a path of accessibility from maybe where they live to where they work to any place that they want to go, Google Maps isn't going to provide the walking directions that a person needs. So through Mechanical Turk, they've culled a lot of these and built a pretty big set of data, but they're finding that with this data that they're able to actually teach a computer to identify the inaccessible area. So I suppose dream sort of became reality out of the creation of this crowdsourced tool. We're hoping to see, and we're going to work with them to possibly create an accessibility score, much like a walkability score that you see for neighborhoods, people looking at where they work and where they live and seeing how walkable it is to certain services. We think it'll provide a great service to our community to have this type of abilities. So we're really happy about that relationship. Another great thing coming out of the same group, we've seen similar type of processing of data through the crowd, where a professor who we work with, she focuses primarily on touchscreen interfaces and making touchscreen interfaces more reliable for people with spastic movements or cognitive disabilities, not just motor disabilities. And she wanted to know how are people using touchscreens? I mean, you can imagine certain things and other things you cannot, but she had the crowd scour YouTube looking for using different keywords with disability and different keywords with different touchscreen devices. So maybe iPod and Cerebral Palsy, Android, and motor skills. So they paired up the keywords, and every permutation did a search and had the crowd view these videos and find different ways people were using touchscreen devices. And it blew their mind. They found children using touchscreens with their toes, a man playing Angry Birds with his nose, with his smartphone right up to his face and some sort of mount. So there was all these new ways of using the device that people that are in the field of human-computer interaction didn't even think of. But it just showed that the use of cloud computing and the crowd to do work that they weren't able to do before, and to identify things that couldn't be identified before. So again, that's something that a relationship we're really proud of, and we hope that they use that process in their research more and more, because I think it's something that not only gets good data, or maybe you may make the argument to say that it doesn't get great data, but it does build awareness. And I think when research like this happens, that we see a lot of innovation happen, because more minds are put to the task of solving a problem, and we're just thinking about it, sharing. So that's one way. I don't know, but
you're good.
Okay. Yeah. So there's a lot more many things that Life Labs is doing, but I know we have a limited amount of time. I'll leave it at that.